Members of
Chris.
Congress saw the treatment of January 6 prisoners with your own eyes. As a former judge, does their punishment fit the crime, sir?
Well, actually, that's the big problem, Chris. They've not been adjudicated guilty, none of those that are in pretrial confinement. And we know from the Constitution, we know from the law, the rule of law, you are not to punish anyone in pretrial confinement. That is only for the purpose of keeping people who may not show out, or there's a good chance they won't show up for trial, or if they're a threat to others or themselves. And that's not the case with these people. So many of them have been peaceable their whole lives, and the care or the lack of care they're getting in the D.C. jail, those that are left there, is just despicable. And the U.S. Marshal had inspected the other areas of the jail first while they were quickly trying to clean up the January 6th inmates area. And they shouldn't even be there. The U.S. Marshal recommended 400 or so get transferred to other jails, and that sure ought to be the case with January 6th. But they have been treated so inhumanely. We don't treat people like that. I've never seen another jail or prison that treated people the way or as badly as they're treating the January 6 people. And then when you see on social media, the deputy warden, who has been the biggest problem that we've encountered, she had on her social media things like F all Trump supporters, things like that. That's not somebody who should have been in charge of Trump supporters. But she has done exactly to these January 6 people exactly what she was posting online.
An East Texas veteran and January 6 defendant, Ryan Nichols, requested the U.S. government release footage that may identify government agents who were spurring on the violence on January 6th. Nichols has been jailed in D.C. for almost a year. His attorney says he's being held because he can ID undercover government operatives responsible for fanning those flames, Congressman. Can your office do anything to ensure this Texas man has his story heard, vetted in the full light of day?
Well, we're trying, and we're attempting to get material filed with a federal judge. I've talked to Ryan. Marjorie and I both met him up there in the jail, and it is really so outrageous what's going on. We're doing what we can, but be assured that at some point he's going to be able to publicly tell his story. They can't hold him forever. And we've already seen through some of the footage of what happened that's now been coming out, people that the FBI initially said they wanted, and then they find out, oh, no, we don't want them, when clearly they were inciting violence or breaking glass. Those are the kind of things we also need to, yeah, sure, people need to be punished for breaking the law on January 6th. But we need to get to the bottom of the whole thing. And why didn't Speaker Pelosi want the National Guard there? Did she want them to come into the Capitol? Why in the world would she take all reasonable steps, as the president proposed, to protect the Capitol? And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. She could have prevented all this.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of, Congressman, what you were talking about before, is when they raided Rudy Giuliani's apartment. And they said, oh, we have a warrant here for all your electronics. And he said, here, take Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, no, we don't want that. That's what it reminds me of. Looking ahead to the midterms, Congressman, elected Democrats are going to try to make every day January 6th in order to distract from their many failures on Afghanistan, the economy, the border, the pandemic. The committee's hearings are going to begin the spring and will likely drag into the summer. Do you think Americans are going to vote for socialist Democrats based on this January 6th sham that they call an insurrection, even though nobody has been charged with insurrection or sedition?
And let's face it, this is not a commission. A commission has people with differing views. These have unilateral views. They all agree. That's the only reason they're all on that commission. But it isn't a commission. You've got to have differing views. As a preacher in Mount Pleasant used to say, if everybody agrees on everything, all but one's unnecessary. And we need people with differing interests, different views, but the Democrats are not about to allow that. And as you're bringing up, I don't think the voters are going to be that impressed with what the Democrats are doing and refusing to pursue all the angles in this investigation. It's not an investigation. It's a trumped up effort to get Trump.
Indeed it is, sir. Thank you, Congressman Louie Gohmert, sir. We always appreciate the time. And again, Happy New Year, sir. Coming up.